think about the level of technology that we had in 1946. The F-86 Sabre jet was designed and was barely coming online at this time.
Right.
And yet we've got this craft, no visible means of propulsion, no seams, no rivets. You know, who's building these craft back in these early 40s? This predates jet power, basically.
Yeah, you're right. The Sabre's first flight was in that year.
47 time frame, right in there.
So this is big. Like, oh my gosh, the United States, like, wow, this is a cool looking plane. Wow. But yet we have this.
We've recovered this back in 46, yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Look at that.
And we're going to move on to the next slide here. And now you can see Joseph Wraith, who's my good friend. He did this full color rendering. Now you can kind of see this thing a little bit more detailed. We've peeled back the skin to show the interior central column. I want to mention again, there were no seats in this thing. We don't even know if there was anyone in this. It could be an unmanned drone for all we know. Bottom line is they could not get into this craft.
Huh. That is something. It must have been just a drone.
It's possible. It's possible.
It had to be. Well,
it's possible. And again, if you look on that left of center glass window, that's where this red dot is. And as we go through more of these cases in future segments, we're going to find out that there are multiple teams of lab coat technicians desperately trying to breach the hull of this craft in any way they can. In any way they can. Because they want to reverse engineer the propulsion system, and they want to reverse engineer the over Unity advanced free energy systems that are associated with these vehicles.
Wow. Are we going to talk about more cases?
We're going to talk about more cases. Let's go to the next slide here. And now you see Rudy Gardea's drawing that gives you an idea of what it looked like when they entered the hangar. So you've got the craft on the hangar floor, you've got the MP, and you've got a tarp folded off to the right. There was a toolbox in the foreground that was opened up with a diamond tip drill bit inside an electric drill. This is the scene as you would see walking into the hangar.
You would think there would be a lot more commotion around this UAP. I mean, I'm looking at the scale of the soldiers to it, and it doesn't look like you would fit comfortably in there. So,
well, he was at the right place at the right time because they were changing shift. They were going from one group of lab coat technicians to the next group of white lab coat technicians. So they were there at the right place at the right time. And this MP, who was the friend of the records management private, he got there at the correct time to be able to see this. So what we want to do is we want to take everything that we've got from the primary eyewitness, his sketch. We want to hook that up with Rudy's drawing, use that as a basis, and we're going to go to the full color rendering to see if we can make this whole scene come alive, and this is what we came up with.
Wow.
Just to give people an idea what it may have looked like back in 1946.
Wow, look at that. Just sitting in a hangar.
Just sitting in a hangar. Yep.
The most valuable opportunity out there in the world to capitalize is just sitting in a hangar. Two guys, just by chance, one of the other guys gets to witness history.
That's right.
Incredible. Now, what happened to these two guys after that? Anything particular?
They left after about 10 minutes, and that was the end of the case. That was the end of the case.
Interesting.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. So we can move on to the next case here. And just to wrap up this one, this is a quote by General Nathan F. Twining, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base commander. Quote, "The phenomenon is something real, not imaginary or fictitious." So coming from this general, something that we can hang our hats on.
What do you think at that time this general stepped out like that and said, hey, here's the bottom line? Like, this could have cost him his everything.
True, but there were so many reports in the 47 time frame prior to his military pilots seeing these craft, and then there was just an abundance of first-hand evidence, and I think that's why he came forward.
So this is in 46, right? When he comes out with this statement?
I've got the date on this. I'll check on that for sure, but it's right in that time frame.
Yeah, he's taking big risk to say something
Correct.
like this. Well, Michael, this is super interesting. Hey, we've got a couple more things we're going to talk about. I know we're going to talk about Roswell, 47 crash.
Sure.
And we're going to be right back after this commercial. Bring the volatility.